Well, hello there, and welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. Today on the show, we are discussing, of course, our idiot reviews. We're also talking Elon Musk, Kyrie Irving. Our idiot inquiry of the week is discussing balancing work life. And for our main topic, we are discussing funny people, serious roles. So, without further ado, stick around to the end, and let's start the show.
All right, test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. They call me the Zennial, or I call myself that, whatever.
Brian Gen X.
You do always call yourself that. Always walking around calling yourself
All the
Zennial.
time.
And I am a millennial, and my name is Nick. I don't call myself that. I'm not that pretentious, but you can call me a millennial if you want to, or you can just call me Nick. But you
Hey,
can
Nick.
call us idiots because we are Convincing Idiots. We are a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together to talk about nerd and pop culture affairs. So if this is your first time joining us, we say hello to you. We welcome you. Welcome to the game. We are all clad in our Convincing Idiots hockey jerseys. That is correct. We are part of the team. And now, by being here, so are you. So if you've not already done so, be a good teammate. Please go to all of our social media accounts. Like, subscribe, rate, review. Back up your boys like a good teammate would. And if you need help getting to all of those, you can type into Google Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree, and there you will find links to all of our social media platforms. Also, our website has all that information for you as well. That is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. We are also found now on Boss Code Media. If you've not already done so, please be sure to look up Boss Code Media, Boss Code TV on your smart TV or the app on your smartphone. You can find all kinds of original content from creators such as ourselves, and we'll call them our sister or brother podcast, however you want to call that. It came from Gen X, also found there. So be sure to go check us out there. As well, as always, we welcome you. We are glad you are here. We are glad to be together, and we're just glad to be chilling. So
And
I'm
high
glad.
sticking is always welcomed.
That's right, absolutely, yes. So now I will give a nice crisp sauce pass over to my buddy Brian and find out what he's been up to in the last week.
All right, brother. So great weekend. So this past Tuesday was my lovely girlfriend's birthday. Age withheld for safety reasons for myself.
Mhm.
Right? No, but we had a great time last weekend. We went down to Zor, Ohio. Which
Zor.
Is, that's
Can't
right.
believe
Just
she's already
Which is a
18.
suburb. It's a
Yeah,
suburb of
it's
Asgard.
crazy.
Is that correct, Zor?
sounds that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Just south of Canton, Ohio. So it's a beautiful little historical village. Went to a terrific restaurant there, Donnie's Tavern. Did I mention this already? No, this was
You
just
sent
past
us pictures.
weekend. That's
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we talked
Off
beyond
camera.
this. Yes.
Okay. So Donnie's Tavern in Zoro, Ohio.
He has no clue what fucking reality is at this point.
That's
Do you
right.
understand
No, it's all running together. The whole life's a podcast.
Yep.
No, but it's terrific service, excellent food. So if you're in this area, Northeast Ohio, go check out Donnie's Tavern in Zor. And then took a nice hike on Sunday. It's beautiful weather up here, and for the fall, just some good quality time. So that's the main thing I did over the weekend. There, I had a
Better
nice
watch
birthday.
that fall. Break your hip.
That's right. These days,
Dangerous.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's the main thing I have been up to, gentlemen. So Dean, how are you, sir?
I am golden. Let me tell you.
Well, at least that Dean head is. He's golden.
Mhm.
That's right. Always. Next, Bill Murray, which we'll get into later in the show. Let's see. My car, I've had the car for what? 6 months? And this is the second time it's been hitting a goddamn parking lot.
Are you serious?
Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's been longer than 6 months, though, too, eh? Like, I feel like you've had that car longer than 6 months.
But still less than a year, and it's been hit twice in a parking lot. What the fuck?
Okay.
Mhm.
Have you tried not parking in people's way where they're trying to drive?
Maybe I should think about,
I mean,
what do you
you
think
got to be
with
a
your
little
smaller
considerate.
car?
That's
When
why
I
I was
used to have the
parked far
truck,
away. I always get made fun of. I'm parking far away. Never been hit in a parking lot.
Look at that.
maybe I got, like I said, that I had the truck that I used to have to park, far away. Now I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I got the car, I can zip into the closest parking spot. Well, it's bitten me in the ass.
Free pass to be lazy. I got a little car. Park wherever the fuck I want on the curb if I want to.
Luckily, the young lady left me a letter, note, whatever, on my windshield.
Very
Did it say
nice.
"saw we" with a sad face? Saw we.
Sucks to be you. No, she was very polite. We're getting everything taken care of, but it's annoying. Twice,
Sure.
since I've had it.
How bad is it?
It's not bad. It's going to be able to be buffed out.
Oh, okay.
I think we'll do since she did it, we'll deal with her insurance. Hopefully, she has Blake insurance. Because let me tell you about Blake Insurance.
Okay,
Right
now
off
did
the
your
bat.
car actually
Blake
get hit,
Insurance
or
is
is
an
this
Erie insurance
segue?
agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio.
This
They
shit ain't
provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance
It's a
with
made-up story.
honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie
Manufactured
Insurance is
stereo.
above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free. What? Yep, that's what I said it. Free 5-minute quote today. And when
If
you
that
do,
is their real name.
it is their real name, and that's actually did happen to me. I just
Did it?
thought, I mean, if you can't put an insurance read anywhere in the show,
Yeah,
that's
right.
going to be it. But yes,
Mhm.
that
That's
did happen
perfect.
to me.
Well, you've cried
Um,
wolf a few times, so I just didn't know if this story was real or not.
I have. This one is real.
Okay.
Let's see. My son had turned 11. And that seems really impossible, but it is a thing.
Mhm.
So I went out to
That
breakfast
you have
with
the
him.
son, or that he's 11?
That somebody was willing to have sex with me.
Right. Okay. That's
11
where my head
years
was at
ago.
with that one.
Yeah.
It
So
is
it's not
something.
even. I don't even celebrate his birthday. It's just a celebration that I got to have sex once.
Yep.
Um,
I like that. That's a
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. It's a good. I make myself a cake and.
Son, did
it's-
I ever
it's very
tell you
nice.
about the time that I got to have sex? Yes, every year on this day, as a matter of fact. You make a point to bring it up during dinner. My birthday dinner, by the way.
You're what? No, I did. Megan and I went out with Carter and his mother and her boyfriend. We all went
Megan,
to
did I
have
ever tell you
breakfast.
about the time that I had sex?
With this lady over
Yes, you
here.
do. Yeah. Tell her.
Boy,
It's
this is
real.
awkward.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But I tell
It
you,
is. It is nice you guys could do that. Really, it is nice that
Yeah,
both
everybody gets
parents with their
along and-
significant others can go out and have a nice, stress-free, meal with their son. That's
As
terrific,
it should
right?
be
That's
amongst
great.
adults. That's
It
good.
should
Yes,
be.
absolutely.
It's not that
I
easy,
saved
but
my
it should
stress
be.
for having to do a podcast with Nick.
Mhm.
One thing that actually, I got two more things that annoyed me. Can I vent for a second?
Hmm.
One, as you see, my hair here, You ever get a mosquito bite? Well, you guys don't shave your head, but I got a mosquito bite on the side of my head. So every time I'd shave my head, it would cut it open, and it started looking like I had wounds on the side of my head, right?
Like a meth addict, kind of?
Yeah. So I had to go ahead and like let it grow out until that healed. So I'm not real happy about that. And another thing, I was at Chipotle the other day, and I think I told Brian this. I was at Chipotle the other day, and I get up to the beginning of the counter, and girl tells us, "Sorry, we're out of cheese. The sprinkled cheese."
You can't run out of cheese at Chipotle.
Yeah. It seems impossible, but A, it's not their fault. It's not these kids' fault.
No.
It's
Somebody
whoever's
ordered
manager.
Yep.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Say it was the Norton one?
No, Barberton.
Oh, okay.
And I looked down at Carter, and I'm like, is it cool? We can go somewhere else. He's like, no, it's fine. We got sprinkled cheese at home. We can do it when we get there. That is an 11-year-old, right?
Going with the flow. Yep.
That has that response. The woman, the Karen behind me, did not have the same response. He proceeds to ask for a business card because she is going to get a free burrito out of this. This is bullshit. I'm not going to put because I just put like queso, right? I'm like, whatever. It is cheese, whatever. Oh, that queso is disgusting. I'm not putting on. I'm going to make sure I call corporate and then the one girl that's doing another task, she kind of walks over and she stops her and goes, "Hey, I am not going to eat that queso. It is disgusting." And the girl's like, "Yeah, okay," and turns around and walks away. But just the audacity of people is incredible. I know you see all these Karen videos online, but to see it in person is really something to marvel at. It's incredible.
Hey man, from what it sounds like to me, this woman is assertive. She's a go-getter, and she gets what she wants. If she goes to Chipotle, she's to expect to have cheese, okay?
Right,
and if she can get herself a free burrito out of it, more power to her. I bet you even more so, she probably got a position out of this. She probably got a job as purchasing manager. She's like, if it's up to me, this place will never run out of cheese. And I bet they gave her a job on the spot.
Now, is this because of your newfound just mustache that you're sporting? that you have this newfound opinion?
I will have you know, as a man with a mustache, I have come to understand that there are certain things that I can expect to get.
Sure.
And if I go to Chipotle, you better have some fucking cheese.
I get that. And I even get, like, if she would have said, "Hey, can I get a business card?" And then just kept her opinion there. But to berate these kids behind the counter who just want money for their fucking cell phone.
Right,
there's no need to berate them for goddamn cheese.
I don't care how many Roblox skins you want to download. I want my fucking cheese.
It's so stupid.
The mustache needs the cheese.
God. People are great. Peyton's first job was working at a pizza place, and she shared many stories like that where the general public would come in and yell at these teenage kids for something stupid. One guy ordered pizza at a different location, came to that location, and they informed him that no, the pizza you ordered is at this other location, and he got mad at them because he was standing in the wrong location. You know what I'm saying? People are just anybody that yells at people like that are just miserable lives. Every one of them, miserable pricks.
At that point, that guy.
You celebrate having. Go ahead. What's that?
I'm just thinking of now you're acting out because you're mad that you look so dumb.
Crazy?
That, they had to explain to you that no. You ordered.
You're an idiot.
To a Pizza Hut that's 20 miles away from here.
Exactly.
Right. We don't have that here. To get mad that
crazy?
You ordered incorrectly.
It's wild.
Exactly.
Wild.
It's crazy.
Just to double down that hard.
That's right. And they're not celebrating having sex even 11 years ago.
No, it's been a long time.
It's been longer than that.
There's tumbleweeds falling out of that girl's shorts.
That's right. That's right. Deservedly.
She sneezing, it's like a dust party.
Right.
Perhaps if she had just had herself a fresh mustache ride, she would have been in a much better place to understand that Chipotle had no cheese.
Anybody offering?
Yep.
Just saying.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me.
Okay, very good. How are you, Nick?
Nick, tell
I'm
us,
well.
please.
I forgot we were still going around the table and saying
That's
how we
right.
went.
Yeah.
My apologies. I
yeah,
went
no.
all along. I'm not
Well, we
used
got
to
the
long
insurance
things on
read
me.
in there.
No,
that
you're
kind of
not.
discombobulated me. No, I'm good. You know what? We were talking about Brian, and you were talking about his age and whatnot, and everything. I will say one thing I noticed about Brian's wrap-ups of what he's been up to. He starts like from when we last recorded. I can't remember that far back. I always go, what happened Friday?
Look,
What
I
happened
write
Saturday?
down.
What
I
happened
started
Sunday?
learning to write stuff down when they happen to me
About your
because
life,
I won't
like
remember.
that you
Yes.
lived, and you're
Yep,
like taking
right
notes,
here.
like, hey, don't forget.
There's
this
one
happened.
section just for what I did.
Yeah. Mine, when I tell you guys, it's basically a weekend wrap up or roundup or whatever. So,
Right.
yeah, Friday.
She's like, I walked down the stairs and did a podcast.
Yeah, right. That's what. Yeah, what was I doing upstairs? There might have been pizza.
Oh.
Pizza Hut. Is that from the last story? Or do we have that for dinner? I don't know. No, I lost a good buddy of mine a couple weeks ago, and they had a celebration of life for him where he lived out in West Salem on Friday. So it was tough. Obviously, everybody's mourning, but it was a good time. Everybody, typically, I like that. I see more of these like celebration of life instead of like a ho hum kind of funeral. Hey,
Yeah.
whatever your religion, whatever your preference, whatever you feel is fine. But the celebration of life thing tends to be more of a
A little more jovial.
it's more of casual, like a get together. Everybody's, having some drinks, having a good time, sharing stories and things like that. So that was very nice little get together. Saturday was trick or treat in the neighborhood, so we did. I made a couple big pots of chili, and the kids went door to door. I walked with them and stuff, collected my Sour Patch Kid tax on the candy that came back.
Sure.
And it was a good time. We had a bonfire. Had the neighbors over and had some my family and friends there and stuff. So that was a good time. And Sunday was
So
hanging
this
around.
is awkward. You had friends there?
I did.
Brian, did you have fun?
I was with Allie anyway, so
Right. We discussed.
Yes.
I communicated with
Mhm.
Brian, and I knew he had plans. So yeah, that was
Yes.
Saturday. Sunday. Sunday was. I don't know. I did some putting around the house, watched the Cowboys game a little bit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. I don't know what happened
I hope they lost.
the rest of the week.
No,
they
won.
didn't. They blew them out, destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears. Yeah.
You hear the Browns won. They beat Cincinnati.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
I think it was like at this point, what both of them are glorified high school teams. So
That's
I
good.
bet those rating for Monday Night Football were through the fucking roof.
Did one of them get to take some like statue home or something? Was it like like those high school games where you play for like a bell or a
It
trophy?
was like
or
a
something
wagon
like
wheel of some sort.
that? Yeah.
They should do that with the Browns and
Yeah.
Bengals. Something like
Who
that.
gets the golden turd this year? Which one of you is
Yeah,
going to take the
that's
fucking
true.
turd?
Yeah, most years that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, Nick, I did see him in my Facebook memories 7 years ago. Dean had a beer tasting party right around this time, and it was Halloween, and we were all pictures
Dressed
of
up.
us in our
Oh,
dressed
Bo
up
was
and stuff.
the Captain America or Mr. USA or
just Captain USA, just some weird random costume.
Yeah,
he
it was
put
funny.
Yeah, he
together.
literally
he was just a
wrote
funny
on
guy.
with I think he had a rat tail maybe on, or there was a
Yeah,
headband
he sure
and
did.
mask or something like that. Yeah.
He had a Confederate flag cape.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Just all this wacky, random stuff. Yeah, he was a funny guy. Yeah.
Yep. Jean shorts on as he was accustomed to wear. He loved his jean shorts. So I wish I should have done that. I gave him shit about wearing jean shorts constantly.
You should have worn them.
I should have worn jean shorts to a celebration of that shit.
Yep.
So, but good times. Good times.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Yep. That's about it for me.
Okay. All right, guys.
Brian,
I want to get. Yes.
I was just going to ask if you watched anything. You got any recommendations for us?
I was just going to say let's get into some idiot reviews. Absolutely. So, I've watched the last episode of Andor actually today.
I didn't get a chance
this week while I was working out. It was a good time to do that, and I know what happens. You know that this character clearly where he winds up in Rogue One. Okay,
right.
But this series is still very dramatic,
and it gets better as it's going.
It does. Andy Serkis is great. It's just so good. It's just one of the best I'm enjoying this Andor series right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm sure. I think better than certainly in the last 3 movies at the moment. That's just me.
Okay, you can't tell
It's
me
on-
that it's better than Kenobi.
He said last 3 movies.
I'll say this. It's on. I'll just say this.
That's where he was going.
It's on par. It's on par with Mandalorian and Kenobi as far as the level of enjoyment for me at the moment. It's up there.
Wow.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
From the storytelling, acting, and everything. It's not like a shoot 'em up Star Wars movie. Clearly, it's not.
But
Okay.
Yeah, I can't walk with you on this.
I might have to come back on this because I'm interested.
Who's back?
That's got me. It's, Brian and or Dean. I don't. Whatever. Yeah, it's whoever. You see, because of Andor. You see? Anyway.
Funny and sexy with that mustache.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but I did start to watch the first episode, and it was one of those things where it was just me and the boys.
Start.
And I turned it on. We'd just gotten dinner. We grabbed something on the way home. I sit down hey, let's watch this new Star Wars show. And then they start talking and things got carried away. I got distracted. They got distracted and it just never. So I've seen 10 minutes of the first episode. So I can't say one way or the other. Now, going in, I'd said before, don't really have a ton of interest. I don't know if we're too fringe storyline on the characters that I care about for me to care, but I would be. That's got my interest peaked a little bit.
You got to get through the first 3 episodes.
Okay, which is half the season.
No, it's 22 episodes, some shit. It's a long fucking season.
It hasn't.
I don't know if 22, but I know that it's longer than the rest. Rest of them are what?
It is
6
longer.
It is longer.
Yeah,
I'll look it up. But yeah.
I have heard really good things about this Tales of the Jedi or something like that.
So I haven't got to watch. I've been waiting for Carter to watch that.
Either.
What they say, it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
Right.
Or it's really high. So I definitely gonna check that one out. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your review. But.
No, but yes, it's definitely worth the investment. No spoilers here, but I finished watching The Patient, that series.
Same.
And this will lead into our main topic this evening.
Yeah.
Steve Carrell is so good in The Patient. We talked about it several times on the podcast. It's on Hulu and FX. You can find it both there. It's an FX show streaming on Hulu also. It's if you're someone that really doesn't know The Office and knows Steve Carell, as a comedic actor, you would not even really recognize it's maybe the same actor. So our main topic later in this episode, I'm trying to say. It is later today.
It is later.
By the time we shoot it, will be some of our favorite comedians who did well in dramatic roles, movies. So we'll talk about that as our main segment later. And I was putting Halloween stuff away I was still in the Halloween spirit, and I had not seen this movie in a very long time. I put on Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. This is when the kids, Horshack and the other kid the kid that's grown up that was Corey Feldman, excuse me. As a kid, it was the kid that killed the kid. There's a kid that looked like he killed Jason at the time at Friday the 13th 4.
Right.
Who's grown up now, and they dig up Jason's corpse. And
as one does.
That's, of course, because he wants to make sure that he's really dead and burn him up and all this and that. Stabs him with a metal fence post. Mm-hmm. And of course, lightning strikes the fence post.
As it does.
Right. It just brings Jason back to life. So this is when he becomes literally a walking, a zombie
Frankenstein.
Jason. Right. It's just so goofy and completely over the top, but you suspend belief. But it's a Walking Dead. This is the one when they throw him in the lake and with the rock around his neck and everything to weigh him down. I don't know. I just I hadn't seen it in so long. I just loved it. It's so goofy and over the top. It's I don't know. So I have the box set of all the original, the ones with Friday the 13th in the title. So it goes up through Jason Takes Manhattan,
Yeah.
So anyway, if you haven't watched those movies in a long time, if it's something that you're remotely interested, it was just a lot of fun watching that. So it took me back for sure. That was all the way back in 1986. I couldn't believe it was that long.
Wow.
So, but anyway, so that's what I watched over the past week. So, Dean, how about you, sir? What have you seen?
I finished also The Patient. I haven't caught up on Andor. Like you said it all for The Patient. It's fantastic. The ending was amazing. Yeah. But what my recommendation for tonight? So I did, since between shows, it was Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Carter turned me onto this show on Netflix called 28 Days Haunted.
Oh, I started to watch that. Yeah.
It is a very cool concept. Like if you've seen any of these, like on the Travel Channel or whatever, these ghost hunter shows.
Yep.
Where they go in and use these EKG meters or whatever. I don't know the names, but
EKG.
EKG.
They did a CAT scan on the ghost or something, right. And I don't know the names. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a rocket surgeon. I don't care. I don't know.
Come on, what do you expect from me?
The IUD machine, something like that. Yep.
It was a TIT machine. So what they do is they take these already ghost hunters, and and they take a team of them, and there's 3 spots across the country, and they blindfold them, take them to it's a house or a building, and put them in there, unblindfold them, don't tell them anything about the place, and they have to stay there and sleep there for 28 days.
Yep.
Who was it? Was it Hans Holzer, famous ghost hunter back in the 40s or 50s, said, I think he was the one who said, or was it Lorraine and Ed Warren?
That's what it was. It was
Lorraine Warren, also a couple of ghost hunting investigators. They're part of like the Conjuring movies.
Horror. Yep.
Yeah. But they have a theory that it takes 28 days for you to for a haunting to reoccur again or something like that. So, but the 28 days is what they should, stay in a place and investigate. So they are staying in there. They get no phones, no TVs. It's just 28 days of this haunted house. Mm-hmm. So, and it's if you like that sort of thing,
no internet, nothing
at all.
It's a laptop with power.
Yep. It's a very cool concept. So, yeah, if you dig that sort of thing, I recommend 28 Days Haunted on Netflix.
I did catch most of the first episode, but yeah, I agree with you. It was.
I think I got one left.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. Well, it's like this podcast. Every 28 episodes or so,
you get a laugh.
Is entertaining. Yes.
That one was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I know in about a year's time I'll come back on.
Nick, how about you?
You got anything to review?
I've just been watching the same shows. I've been trying to now that my sports are back up and running here. My time to watch TV is a little bit less than normal, but still been watching that Mr. Mercedes show that I was telling you guys about last time that I discovered they made a 3rd season of, and I now have access to. So it's weird, it's compelling, but it's. If anybody out there is good, or anybody listening, or either one of you ever watched the show, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say there's a main cog in the story throughout that is no longer here for the 3rd season. So it makes it difficult to see where they're going. It's still compelling for this 3rd season. I'm kind of wondering if that's why they stopped after a 3rd season, if it just kind of fell off. It's still great acting. It's still, an interesting storyline. There's still a little bit of murder mystery stuff going on here, but seasons 1 and 2 have a clear path, and then at season 3, we're kind of going in a different direction. So it's kind of odd, but still enjoyable. And like I said, I love the first 2 seasons so much that I'm going to watch the 3rd one and at least cap it off. That's where they stopped. So
and it's only been 3.
Yeah, I believe season 3 ended in 2018 or 19. So I don't know if it or something like that. So it was before the pandemic. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or if it had been canceled or they didn't get renewed or what, I don't know.
Gotcha.
But I still enjoy the show. It's fantastic. And then what else have I watched? Oh, I've still been watching Dahmer, which, just again, I don't know. We
Monster
sound like
or the
a
tapes?
broken record. Actually, I did Monster. Monster's the one that I've been the one with Evan Peters. I did watch a little bit of the tapes though. That's pretty interesting as well. Just very eerie, just very
Sure.
creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just watching the same kind of shows, getting caught up on things, and I don't think that I've seen any movies or anything lately. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Okay. Very good.
Very good.
All
Okay,
right.
I like that. We said it at the same time, so I feel like I'm smart when when you and I think of the same things. So I feel super smart. So I just want to give myself a pat on the back for that one.
It's hard to
But see,
top.
Brian didn't say that with you as well, though. You said that one by yourself. So what's that?
That's right.
But-
It's hard to top that Nick and I had the exact same reaction last week when you said we both went at the same time.
Yeah.
Whatever it was we were reviewing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
our monster, non-human characters, and because Dean said something
Oh, you
about
said Godzilla.
Yeah,
both
Godzilla.
We both went at the same time. That was hilarious. I took the sound clip of that, by the way, too. We'll use that. Yep. Okay. So let's take a break here, gentlemen, and then we're going to come back with some pop culture headlines and our idiot inquiry of the week.
Smells like farts in here.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots.
Hi.
That's right. So
Hello.
Nick asked what hat this was, by the way, so I want to show it on camera here if you're looking at it. This is a Savannah Bananas hat that I'm wearing that matches my hockey jersey. Savannah
boy,
Bananas
yeah.
out of Savannah, Georgia.
That
So,
hat makes me want to have sex with you. Go ahead.
Yep. You would not be the first who wanted to.
Common request.
That's right. No, but it's I got this when I was down in Savannah for St. Patrick's Day a few years ago. Love the area, beautiful. So if you happen to be listening to us in Savannah, cheers to you and
Friendly folks down there.
love it down there. They are friendly folks. Absolutely. Very friendly. Okay, so we're talking about some craziness.
Oh.
Craziness. Right. So
Crazy.
yeah, Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets is just, it seems to be kind of continuously going off the rails. There's a lot of guys out there, it seems like they're really trying hard to
So Brian,
lose a good gig.
didn't we just discuss this last week? We already talked
It
about
seems
Kyrie.
that way.
It was Kanye.
No, Kanye.
Kanye
That's
West.
right.
Kanye West.
Yes.
But very
They're both
similar.
having a competition of who can get canceled first.
Yeah,
Right.
isn't that something? Now, again, we're in Northeast Ohio, as you mentioned before. Kyrie Irving has a place in our sports hearts because he was playing for the Cavs with LeBron James in 2016.
Hit the game-winning shot.
He made the game-winning
2016?
shot to win a championship in Cleveland sports for the first time in our lifetimes. Okay, for sure, right? And so it was a huge thing. So it's like we root for Kyrie. We rooted for Kyrie probably for many years, but he's just he at these days you can't root for the guy. It's just so weird and wacky. So he's made some recent anti-Semitic friendly commentary. So apparently, what he did was there's a book.
Hold on.
It was a film, wasn't it?
Hold on.
It was a film based on a book.
Let's back up real quick.
Yes.
Did you just say anti-Semitic friendly comments? What does that mean?
I didn't mean it that way. I just
Friendly
mean
No, but I want you to
anti-Semitism.
clarify because I heard
Right.
what you said. I know what you meant, but I want you to clarify, please.
I will clarify. Yes,
Condoning
so
anti-Semitism. Yes.
that's correct. Thank you. Thank you. So
Okay.
he is. We do not on this at all
I
condone
heard how
anti-Semitic
it.
commentary.
I just wanted you to clarify.
Absolutely. Nick may have said something on a prior episode. We got to find it.
You should go back and listen to it in the archives.
Hear it. No, that's
Episode
a joke.
13, 12, 78. I don't know. Go through them all. You'll find them.
Maybe it was the elderly he was making fun. I don't know. I mean, you guys do that on a regular basis.
He does dislike the elderly a lot.
Yeah. Anyway.
They just hurry up and die already. Well, but then who would edit our podcasts, I guess? So, what are you going to do?
That's right.
I guess they're good for something.
That's right.
What's that line of Dumb and Dumber? I guess it's true what they say. Senior citizens, although slow and
Dangerous behind the wheel.
Can still serve a purpose. Yeah,
Yep.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. No, but he I guess there was a book. They made a movie based on this book, and the book apparently, as I guess the movie had anti-Semitic commentary throughout it. So he liked he's for this movie. It's like Black History. I can't remember, not Black History, but something. I don't even know what it is. But
it's somehow I don't know if it's I don't know. I shouldn't even speak on it because I don't know. I was actually reading an article about this evening, but I don't fully understand what comparisons they're drawing between the Jewish community and the Black community and what is it? I don't really know what it's about enough to say what it is. But yes, apparently it's from what I read by many groups has been labeled to have very anti-Semitic commentary in it.
Okay. I looked it up,
ideology.
and I'm not going to read that title on this podcast. So,
okay, all right, fair enough.
Google it yourself.
Right.
Google
Okay.
Kyrie Irving liked book that got him in trouble. I'm not going to do that.
Fair enough. So somebody either he knew about it or didn't really know about it, and somebody pointed out. At the very least, somebody pointed out and says, "You got to be careful. You shouldn't be promoting this." And he is in so much said, ignoring the request to come out and say that he is against this. They did come out and say, so basically the Brooklyn Nets right now, they're scrambling, trying to get out of this. So, he is announced that they're donating, and he is donating $500,000 each to a local anti-hate found group of some sort, but he just won't say that he's against it, and he apologizes to a point where today in the news, now we're shooting this on November the 3rd, Thursday, and they've just announced today they're suspending him for a minimum of 5 games because he just won't say that he is sorry. He's standing by his beliefs.
This is the same guy who started, wasn't he suspended for not getting the vaccine or something like that?
Well, what it was, he would not get vaccinated, and there's a state law that you cannot come into the arena if you're not. So all the home games last year, back then, they changed the law since. But so all the home games last year for the Brooklyn Nets, which is half your games, 40-some games, he refused to get vaccinated, and so he just didn't play. Just screw you. I'm not playing, and that's it. And again, also games in Canada, he couldn't play there either because that was their rule also. So he basically hindered the team, and does he have a right not to get? Okay, well, but his job is to play basketball, and he refused to do it. So that's just, you have to live with those rules are rules. You have to live with the repercussions there. The coach was just fired, Steve Nash, who was an NBA all-time great. I don't know if he's a great coach or not, but he got sort of mixed up in this.
Yes.
Well, we could even rewind a little bit more. Where it starts is when he was on the Cavs, somebody heard a rumor and then asked him, and he refuses to admit that the Earth is round.
That's right. Yeah, he's a flat Earth.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a flat earther, but he said he has questions, and it's not guaranteed or factual or something like that.
Yeah. So it's just a very strange, behavior.
Man.
Yeah, very strange man. Very strange behavior. Don't get it. He has some of the best raw talent in all of the NBA, without question. One of the best
yeah.
ball handlers that you're going to see. You know,
And that's always been the
Nick, you're pretty
commentary
good at
around.
that, aren't you?
strange.
Well, ball handling, I am. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can
We've been
dribble
told.
at least 2 at one time. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have to be told. I started the rumor.
But yeah, that's always been the thing with Kyrie, though, is that like it's he's an incredible athlete. He's very gifted, very talented, but like it's all the stuff that comes with him. And Brian, like you said, it's not that you're not entitled to have your opinions. It's not that sometimes we do. If people go against the grain or go against the norm, we tend to chastise them, and sometimes it's with good reason, sometimes it's not. And but stuff like this simply cannot. I'm sorry. There's just it's you know what I mean. When according to the Brooklyn Nets press release, what they said was that he was given multiple opportunities to walk back some of those statements, to explain what he meant, and to denounce, anti-Semitism, and just basically refused to multiple times, which was very concerning to them. I would also like to take this time to say, whether or not this is due to an actual having an issue with the things that he has said, or it's just to save face, doesn't matter. The Brooklyn Nets would have been very easy for them to try to figure out a way to get around this, bad look for their star player. He's making a lot of money. He's very talented. It would probably behoove them to do whatever they could to keep him in the lineup. So I applaud the Brooklyn Nets for getting out in front of this. Like I said, whatever their motivation is, if it's pure or not, the fact is they took a stand and said, we're suspending you for at least 5 games. And even then, maybe not, but like, we've got to see the receipts. We got to know that you're doing the work. We got to know, we want to hear an apology. Like, there's a lot of things we have to do, but it's going to be at least 5 games and possibly even more. So good for them for standing up and just being like, zero tolerance. Like, this is not cool. This is not something simple like, well, it's your choice to not play our home games because you don't want to get vaccinated. That's your choice. Or this is not, we're turning against you because you've had some commentary on flat earth or whatever. Like, this is a very serious thing. You cannot say this type of shit. We do not condone this, and we don't care how good you are. We're stepping away from you. I mean, good for them.
No, you're right. I agree with you. And meanwhile, the Nets are like 2-5, and Kyrie is now choosing to stand by his opinions and further hurt his employer and his teammates. It's so bizarre.
I mean, it's like history you if you're his teammates, right?
Oh my God. And Kevin Durant decided to stay there. He demanded a trade originally. I bet he's really rethinking and kicking himself for
right?
that, I don't know. It's just odd. It's like none of us can go say, stand up in a shirt with our employer on it on social media, right, or something like that, and just be a prominent figure in our company, whatever it is, and say weird stuff like that, and not expect people to pick that up and say, you can't represent our company like that. It's no different.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, for example,
so weird.
And I know I made the joke before, but when we first started this, there was a term phrase that I used to represent women's breasts, right? And you got a complaint from, we had 3 listeners, and one of them complained to you because you worked with her, and you came to me and said, hey, one person didn't appreciate that, so from then on I have not used that term.
So from that point on, I've gotten sneakier about saying the word. Said it in different ways and alluded to it many times, but I stopped saying
bits are bits. No, but that's kind of the same deal, right? Like, I mean, we are like the lowest of the small time here, but there was a problem that was presented to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can not say that turn of phrase.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's just strange.
And how he's making millions of dollars and affecting billions of dollars on the other side, and he refuses.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So, Kyrie, we know you made the shot to win a championship, but right now, fuck you. I don't know what to say. All right.
And TM doesn't stand for trademark.
That's right. All right, so some other
sneaky
other odd behavior.
I'm right here.
Not at this level of Kyrie. No. So Elon Musk making a lot of news right now. Of course, he he announced he was going to buy Twitter, and then he tried to get out of it legally. And then someone must have said, you know, well, you can't get out of this now, or he changed his mind. Who knows? So he did buy Twitter, and now certainly it's making huge social media news because for several reasons. He laid off some key executives. A lot of executives are leaving the organization.
Just regular employees too.
Like regular employees, absolutely, and a lot of celebrities and well-known people on Twitter are leaving because they believe that with his commentary that he's going to allow more potential hate speech and everything on the platform. He's also promoted some wacky theories, politically and otherwise. Conspiracy theories, right?
And one of the things that have gotten some of the famous people up in arms is he's considering charging them for their blue check mark,
right?
For their verification. Well, it started as 20.
Right.
Go back and read the thread. Stephen King.
Was it? Stephen King.
Yes.
That's
Stephen
right.
King. I've been following those two going back and forth. So he's like, "Oh, how about $8?" And he's doing it publicly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're following any of this, especially him writing this shit on Twitter, he's trolling you. He's simply trolling everybody. Yes, he's been it's shitty that he's laying off a bunch of employees and all that. But the shit that he's talking on Twitter, no, now not the conspiracy theory. He should not have retweeted that. Mm-hmm. But like I'm talking about like his little snide comments to random celebrities and stuff, that stuff is just trolling. Like he's just trying to get everybody riled up, and he's doing a good job. Now,
I don't know.
On the other hand
I don't know. I don't know if is he thinking at that level. I don't know. I think he might even be serious.
Well, some of the comments you can tell. I mean, they are sarcasm. And again, I'm not sticking up for him whatsoever. What he's going to do that platform and everybody leaving, it's just going to ruin it ultimately.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if the statistic was right, but like the day he took over Twitter, the N-word was said like 500% more than it had the previous day.
Jeez.
Right. And again, I don't know if that statistic is true or not, but that I'd read that somewhere. But yeah, it's insane. Like
here's what's difficult.
A crazy thing going over on Twitter.
And I don't know. This is what's weird. So Elon Musk has commonly, he doesn't say he's going to promote hate speech. It's not in so many words, but people that's where they're going to go with it, right? Mm-hmm. He says freedom of speech, right? Which there's nothing wrong with free speech, in essence. The problem is the shitty people that are going to, like Dean just said, that are going to take free speech, meaning I can say whatever the fuck I want, and I can use it as hate speech, and I can be a crazy conspiracy theorist, and
throw out misinformation.
Like, it's just, and then it's that discourse of where, okay, well then you block people for using that stuff, and then now it's not free speech, and now I can't free. You know what I mean? It's consequence. Somebody said, actually, this ties into the Kyrie thing. There was a tweet that I read when I was pulling up the Kyrie stuff, and somebody was like, stop saying that Kyrie doesn't have freedom of speech. He said what he felt. He had the freedom to do so, and now he is facing the consequences for his actions. That's what it is. And that's how I feel a lot of times when people complain about like cancel culture is I'm like, hey man, like being canceled is done unto you by if there's
freedom
enough
of speech is you can't be arrested for your speech.
Exactly. If there's enough people that no longer want to have anything to do with you because of a thing you said, that's called a consequence. That's right. Not everybody getting together going, you're canceled because we don't like what you said. Well, if enough people don't like what you said, then you've alienated yourself, and that's a consequence of a thing that you said.
If you walk up to a certain person and say the wrong thing, and they punch you in the mouth, because you may have called them something that you shouldn't have.
Right.
That's your freedom to do so. But the consequences is you get punched in the fucking mouth.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Some people think, I agree with you. Some people think freedom of speech is they can say whatever they want without repercussion. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. I can sit here and scream this to you and to that and the other because I have freedom of speech.
Yep.
Yeah, you do. But again, everything has consequences.
And your
That's right.
employers have freedom to fire you if what you said does not align
That's
with
right.
their
Correct.
beliefs. And
That's right.
your family has the freedom to not associate with you if you're a fucking asshole, and so on and so forth.
When I said that
these
phrase,
are
Brian beat me with a bag of oranges.
That's
Right.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
Oddly, you begged for
On the
more of
way
it,
out.
which was
On the way
Well,
out.
I took
Yep.
them. I took them on the way out. I deserved them.
Yep. All right. So, just real quick, do you?
They
what
have
do you
my
think?
blood on
Is,
them.
is Twitter going to survive? Is it going to? Is it already? Is it just going to be a?
It's
a
going to
platform that loses
survive.
its
I don't know
luster?
what it will look like.
Yeah.
In a year, but it'll survive. But what I think also does happen is this is the perfect breeding ground for a new social media platform.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, where it comes from. If it's already started, I don't know. But I do see
Kanye's buying Parler.
yeah.
He is.
Yeah, I'm thinking more along the lines of a what Twitter was. You know what I mean?
see.
Right.
Oh, I see. That's regulated.
Zero
and,
tolerance, no hate speech type
Well,
situation.
That I guarantee there's people thinking what you're thinking and scrambling, trying to figure out if there's a way to maybe do something like that. So
they're probably
maybe
calling
even
celebrities, trying to get them to endorse it. Yada yada.
It could be former Twitter executives and employees. Maybe they try to do something on their own.
Well,
that makes
Jack
sense.
In spite
Dorsey,
of Elon Musk.
Jack Dorsey is making a new one. It's called Blue Sky. That's what they're working on right now.
Okay.
There we go.
So yeah, Jack Dorsey's working on Blue Sky with a team or whatever. I
don't love the
listening to a
name,
podcast
but
about that today.
right.
Yeah. But
I hope
I
they're
think-
workshopping that name.
yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like exactly, but I do think I think all of this right now is just the big change, and people are unsure of Elon Musk and all these things. But I think it will survive. And also, Twitter, while it's been this global platform that so many people use and people go to for their news sources, Twitter is not a big moneymaker. And I feel like this is the time for that to change. You have a guy that can definitely do that. And I feel like the way that we use Twitter as just a refreshing a timeline and seeing all these random tweets, I look for Twitter to kind of change its interface. Maybe the types of tools that you can use on Twitter over time will kind of evolve. I think it's just going to be like a different. Remember, for example, when we all first got on Facebook, and that's literally, it was basically Twitter. People just typed, it was that little tab that said, "What's on your mind?" And you just typed something, and you would share whatever the fuck you thought at that moment, and it was basically Twitter. And then, well, now you can share videos, and there's links, and there's pictures, and you know what I mean? It slowly piled on to where it was this more immersive multimedia scape where you can post all types of different content. I think I could see Twitter, not exactly copying just as Facebook is, but I mean, going forward as technology evolves, as these different tools become available, I could definitely see Elon Musk being the type of guy that could certainly take something that has so much potential that just straight up has been kind of laying dormant there and has stayed as is for so long. I could see him kind of being the guy to take that forward. I don't know if it'll crash and burn before then or not, but I could, you know what I'm saying? Long-term business plan wise, I could definitely see a lot of changes coming to Twitter in the way its functionality is set up, I guess.
Very good. Okay. Interesting conversation and development. So we'll
we're really
see.
smart, so
I'll see what happens.
Okay. I almost bought Twitter, and then I decided I had enough going on with this podcast.
He was that close. I
said,
close.
Elon, you take this one. I think we're on the same page. So,
yeah. We'll save the.
Aren't you looking into Pornhub next?
What's that?
I'm looking into buying Pornhub next.
I'm going to keep that one for myself. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay. Well, you might buy Pornhub, or you might buy. I saw this. I forgot to mention this earlier. I think it's an interesting story. So there's a documentary coming out on Netflix, I think this weekend. And the documentary is called Orgasm Incorporated.
Okay.
That catches your ear, doesn't it?
It does.
Sure does.
Orgasm Incorporated.
Waiting for you to keep talking, saying more sexy things like that one.
Get a little slower.
There's a wellness company. There's a wellness company out there known for orgasmic meditation. Okay. So there are people
meditation.
There are a lot of people who apparently do. So there's plaintiffs out there that are suing just to make sure that their faces are not public on this documentary, so they want to make sure that
What?
it's not out yet. Now wait, because they don't want to be. Well, they don't want someone to know that they're going to
Why not?
orgasmic meditation. I don't know. Maybe it's embarrassing or something like that. I don't know.
If I can cross my legs, put my hands there, up like this in the meditative position, close my eyes, and come. Show my face. Show my mom's face.
Just let
I'm
the wind
proud of
finish
that.
me off.
Right.
I just think it's great. It's like, imagine somebody say, "Hey, we're going to go to meditation." It's orgasmic meditation. Yes.
I'll
You're
get
gonna
my
come a lot though. Okay, I'm there.
I'm not suing to get my face not shown. I'm suing so they can get my fucking jeans dry washed.
Sure. Yeah, maybe they have dry cleaning services
I
inside
hope
there.
so.
I don't know.
Because I'm gonna ruin those.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds interesting. So they do like
My jeans look like a
private
damn frosted flake. You have to work hard on those.
It's like, what is it? I'm very intrigued at what orgasmic meditation, and it's also a terrific name for a band or
Sure.
Yeah.
something. I don't know. We're going to change this name of this podcast, perhaps.
Yeah,
If you see
orgasmic
meditation.
orgasmic meditation,
I just
get a couple
don't
listens.
get it. Every time you go and meditate, you come back as tapioca pudding in your jeans. It doesn't make any sense. Come on.
And
It's
I will.
It's like the missus, she's doing this meditation. I don't know what's going on over there, but man, she's very relaxed. It seems to be working. Yeah, the guys and I go play. We play some cards. So the wives go to meditation class, and they all love it. I don't know what's
Why would
going
they
on
get-
over there.
Why
Yeah.
when all of them got up off the floor, it's kind of like Velcro being torn apart?
Suddenly,
So
the girl from Chipotle is not mad about the cheese anymore.
No,
not
very
at
relaxed.
all.
All is
She's
right
like-
with the world.
She's done her own cheesing.
Hey man, okay, no cheese. It's cool.
No problem.
It's cool.
At her age, it was cottage cheese, but whatever.
Anyway, so I am definitely interested in this documentary, Orgasm Incorporated, on Netflix, to check this out.
When did it come out?
I think it comes out, I want to say this weekend.
Say comes
I'm
out
watching
again.
it.
Yes,
Slower.
Orgasm. And the odd thing is, we looked at that as our LLC business name, and it was,
We were
it
so
was already
close.
taken. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
already taken. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So our
How about
It's a great name.
communication spelled C-U-M?
Whew. Ah, boy.
Next.
All right. Yeah. I've done a lot of orgasm meditation over the years. I don't know. It's a lot of practice. A lot of practice.
Well,
5
that's
to 7
only because
times a
your
day when
hands
I
were
was a
up against-
teenager.
Now it's just 4 times a day that you're married, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And Brian only did that is because his hands were against the wall looking through the peephole.
Okay. All right. So our idiot inquiry here, guys. It's not about orgasmic meditation, although maybe it should be.
Aw.
Maybe it should be.
It should be.
Yeah. So there was a TikTok video that went viral recently. There's a 22-year-old kid that he was conducting a job interview on video, and when she asked him about working on the weekend, he basically declined it because his working on the weekend is so basically he kind of hung up on the call or something like that. So the video went viral. Now, Dean, you pointed out that since then he did mention that it was an acted out video. It wasn't a real interview.
No. That's not true.
Okay.
It was a real video on her side. Like the person, like he really was
But
doing
he
the
acted out. Gotcha.
Right. He did not like he
It was like a
went in
Borat
there.
thing.
Correct.
Like where they don't
I
know
see.
that he's not being, but he
He
kind
went
of
in there
playing a part.
100% knowing that he was going to turn down the job and do this bit about
Okay.
needing my weekends and stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So it did bring up the question, though. So all this was kind of a bit on his part. Still, the way that
I'm sure it's happened.
I'm sure it's happened. we know right now in the United States, there's a lot of job openings. A lot of places are having difficulty
The
in
only
finding
place
workers.
that doesn't that isn't hiring is the place that's making the sign saying "Help Wanted."
That's about right. Yeah, that's right. So it did bring us a question. So is the younger generation too entitled? Do they expect too much? Do they have too much of a expectation on quote unquote home life balance to where they don't think that they should accept a job and have to work weekends or perhaps undesirable shifts? Yeah, certainly, definitely in my time, and even your guys' times as well, we did not have that luxury. We took a job knowing that you got to pay your dues. I have worked plenty of shifts that I hated.
In your time, you put the stone tablet in the pterodactyl's mouth, and he chomped down on it, and looked at the camera and said, "It's a living."
That's right. That's right. I slid down the dinosaur tail out of the rock quarry.
You were really good at that.
Yep. When the whistle. Yep. Mr. Slate, one of the best bosses in my time. No, but it's like I had to work plenty of shifts. I had to work weekends. I've had to work midnight shifts, just because it's an opportunity, and you're trying to get out of that shift. And the way you get out of that shift is you try to make something of yourself, and you work hard, and you get to move your up in that place. Yeah. Where you develop tenure to get out of a shift that's not as desirable for the next new person to come in, and or you gain more skills and you move on to another place where you're trying to, work into a shift that's more desirable for you. And not a lot of young people these days don't seem like that's something that they even think that they should have to do or need to do. So is it the younger generation? What is it? So what's causing all this stuff to where younger people don't feel like no one wants to work the weekend for the most part. I mean, who wants to do that, really? Not many people do. Some people may prefer to have the middle of the week off or something for other reasons, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Is it the generation behind us that's
let's
screwed up, or what's going on? Go ahead.
Well, before you and I get dangerously close to just being the old men yelling at clouds,
okay.
Let's take into consideration the idea of that this isn't the 1950s, where a guy works himself in a coal mine or works himself at an advertising agency or, wherever for 40 plus hours, comes home, drinks mass amounts of bourbon and, smacks around his wife and kids. You know what I mean? Like, what jobs had done throughout history to people, oh, my grandfather did this, my grandfather did that, but we don't know what their personal lives were.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe they have a point. Like, why can't we be selective? If you financially can do it, why wouldn't you be selective?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it's if you choose not to take a job that has undesirable, shifts or wages for you, and you're in a situation where you're not going to starve or not have a place to live by doing so, then that's kind of like your situation. I mean, what I mean?
Why just because everybody else had shitty lives, do you have to have a shitty life just because it just was always that way? That doesn't make sense for anything. Just to go through something horrible because other people did in the past when you don't necessarily have to. If you don't have to, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like, I get paying your dues, and paying your dues comes more of the idea of like a career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're 23, 24, just out of college or in college, and you have the means to not take a weekend shift because you don't want to, and you can get away with that, fuck, why not?
Yeah.
You're going to work weekends because I tell you to. Do you know how many, and I know that I don't know a whole bunch of them, but like, for example, fast food restaurant like managers. And I'm sure the majority of them are lovely people that are listening and enjoying this podcast. But there's a lot of real pieces of shit out there that, because their life didn't go as planned and that's where they ended up, they take it out on teenagers and yell at them and berate them. I've seen it while you're in as a customer.
Mhm.
There was one time I'm standing there waiting for at a fast food restaurant, and this big fat slob piece of shit was just yelling at this little girl, and she's just almost in tears, and he's just berating her in front of a dining room full of customers. And I had just come. Speaking of what you said before, I had just come from third shift.
Mhm.
I just come from work, so I'm tired. I just want to breakfast and get the hell home to sleep. And I was annoyed enough to where I just yelled out to him. I said, "Hey, why don't you fucking cool it there, bud?" He turns around, "Sir, this is..." I said, "No." I said, you are yelling at this little girl, I don't know, to maybe make yourself feel better while all of us are waiting for our fucking food. I said, why don't you go back into the fucking office and let her do her job, and so we can get our fucking food? And he grumbled, slammed the door, and left her to the thing. But why does somebody have to go through that and have to experience that if they don't have to? Why do these kids have to experience this Karen yelling at her about cheese at a fucking Chipotle if they don't have to? If you can get away with it, sure. You don't have to eat shit and pretend to like it just because your dad did.
I see that side of it too. I mean, I talk with other guys. Actually, that's just Keith and Skinner on the Came from the Next pocket. Some of their logic is people don't want to work. All these young people, they don't want to work, and I'm like,
that's a cop out.
I said, you want to work that job? You can work that job if you want to. I don't want to work that job. I don't want to work in a place like that and have to work all crazy hours and things like that either. And
if you can get away with it.
Now, if I need to put food on the table and that's all I got to do temporarily, then sure, I should. That's the difference there too. That you should not expect, the government or somebody to pay your way if you are able to work. Sure. Just because you choose. You're saying that, though. You're not certainly suggesting that. We should pay people's way that just simply don't want to work a shift that's not as desirable for them.
No,
you're saying,
I'm saying if you viably able, correct. If you can viably live between until you find the right job that you want with whatever qualifications you're looking for. That's what not a lot of people consider, especially back in the day when we were going out and getting jobs. That job interview should honestly be going both ways. They should be really interviewing to you as well.
Of course, yeah. Make it a place that's desirable. You want to work there, not just.
And that's what this lady was amazed on this TikTok that you were talking about. She was flabbergasted that somebody. Oh, you don't want to? No, this is what it is. You don't want to work here. I'm offering you this. No, it's not really my bag.
It's not what I want. It's not what I'm looking for. Right.
Right. Yep. So she should have been trying to sell her job as well as him selling himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Nick, any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, also I think something to keep in mind too is that like Dean said, it's definitely like time relative, right? Jobs don't necessarily look the same as they used to. You know what I mean? You can go into a job interview and, you might turn down a job because you don't want to work weekends or you don't want to do this or that, but you may have the ability to work from home or not leave, what I mean? Have more time to yourself by maximizing yourself, from working from home or whatever. Things like that. Things look different. You know what I mean? Like there's just, things are not necessarily set up the same way. Also, lazy people and people not wanting to work is not a new thing. They existed when Brian was a young man. They existed when your Brian's father was a young man. Like, that's not a new development. There have always been lazy people that don't want to work, or people that might have a hard-working job but don't work hard at them. You know what I mean? Like, with all that being said, I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy, and I think it kind of goes that way. And I'm not saying that that's what what Brian's doing with this or anything, but some people might look. It might be easy to look at a young person and go, "Well, you're young and you've got energy, and like you could do this, you could do that." Well, yeah, that's true. But also, I mean, I think it's easy to just cast that on someone else and not know their position or not. Like I said, things are just look different than they used to. That being said, there are also, like I said, it's not a new development, and they do still exist today where people, will do what they can to do the bare minimum at their job, or you know what I mean. They show up, but
I used to work with Nick. I know that that's the case
because I you know what I mean. That's something that. My parents they never called off work. They were work every day that they were able to. They worked hard, and some days they hated their jobs, and some days they didn't. But at the end of the day, I always kind of took that mentality. When you're busy, you work harder, and when you're not as busy, you know what I mean. But like Dean said, you don't have to.
Nick is on that pole from the start of his shift
with tears in my eyes, but I'm grinding. All right, because I have to
until that whistle blows. Then he does. Go ahead.
That's fair. That is correct. But yeah, that's important to keep in mind is that we've been conditioned a lot to think that, well, if we're working our asses off and we're miserable at work and we hate it, that means we're working hard and we're earning our money and we've done a good job. That's not necessarily the case. We have evolved and understood that there is more value to your life. There's such a thing as going home from work and not being miserable, not taking work home with you, being able to enjoy your life and leave work at work. So it's a healthy balance. Obviously, you want people who are going to be driven, going to be hard workers, going to take pride in their job, but also understand that their job is not their life. So there is a healthy balance in between there, in my opinion. So, just to bring it full circle, like I said, unlike that sentence, to bring it full circle, I mean, if you had the ability to pass up on a job because it wasn't exactly what you're looking for, and you feel pretty confident you can find something else, I think that's totally rational. Yeah. So, Brian, how about yourself?
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, I did that, and this has been a few years ago, and I was laid off at a place. And matter of fact, Dean, I'm pretty sure it was during the stint where you and I worked together, and we were both laid off. Yeah, this is when we were all laid off. We were all laid off.
That one. Okay.
At that point, and I was looking for work for a few months there, and I was offered a job, and you're tempted just to take it, but the job, the hours were horrible. It was like working till midnight, every night of the week. I just knew I would have been a miserable person, taking that job. So I decided to pass and bet on myself and keep looking.
There you go.
I wound up getting something. At least better hours at the time, which eventually got me into where I'm at now, where I'm much happier. But
this podcast?
Yeah, of course. That's right. So
horrible working conditions, though.
yeah, terrible.
Not good.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not going to stop until I find I have a list of demands of for the proper glory hole, and until I find that one that meets all of them, I'll keep looking.
That's right.
Test all of them if you have to.
Yep.
You got to.
Mm-hmm.
This is about me and my happiness.
I never worked as hard for a company as I did for Orgasm Incorporated. It's a lot of hard work.
Communication.
Very, very hard work.
Yeah. So good. Good discussion, guys. I think we're all on the same page here. Basically, we don't think youth is necessarily lazy or not willing to pay their dues, or it's just like you say, if you could swing it and you kind of bet on yourself and you keep looking for a better opportunity that's a good balance for you, then do it. But if you can't, don't expect a handout. You may have to work a job for a while you may not like as much, or hours you may not like as much, to make ends meet and make it work for you until you find something else. So there you go. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I sure am glad that idiot made that inquiry.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm testing it out. See how it fits.
That's right.
Back to the glory hole thing. There you go.
Right.
That's it. All right, so guys, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with our main segment this evening. Comedians.
Glory holes. You love them? We do. Oh,
Sure.
That's not. We changed it. Oh, sorry.
It's not a mini-sode.
For us, it unfortunately would be mini.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So comedians who did well in dramatic roles, whether it be a character or just in general. It's an actor who plays dramatic roles well. You want to mention? It could be movies, anything. Just a comedian, of course, male or female, whatever. It's just a comic who's known as starting out as a stand-up comic, or maybe started out his or her career doing more comedic roles. That's done some good dramatic work. And again, we're doing this with the thought of Steve Carrell doing great work in the Patient series, as we've talked a lot about. So we're going to bring that to you right after this break from a new sponsor, Orgasm Incorporated.
And we are back on Convincing Idiots. I'm a millennial, Nick. I'm here with my co-host, Gen X Brian, Zennial Dean. Everybody's having a drink. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having a laugh. We all love to laugh. It's a good time. That's why you're here after all to laugh, but also sometimes to be serious, because we can do that too. Which is a great tie-in to our main segment tonight.
Yes.
Some great actors of our time we thought we'd discuss. You guys had been watching The Patient with Steve Carell, often known for his comedic performances, whether it's on The Office or any of his hit movies. And this
The
is
Daily
a good
Show.
dramatic role for The Daily Show. Good dramatic role for him. So we thought, why not discuss? There's certainly a decent list, I think. Quite a few came to mind right off the top for me of maybe actors who are mostly known for their comedic performances, but have definitely pivoted quite well into dramatic roles and really showing their talent and how they can pivot to different performances. So we figured that's where we would start this evening. So let's see. Dean, was this your idea?
Well, it was kind of Brian and I kind of tossed back and forth. I don't know if it was my specific idea.
It was a collective idea last evening.
Collective, okay.
Trivia,
Right. I suggested that he give me a hand job, and he goes, "How about like comedians that do serious roles?" So it's just collaborative.
And you just hatched this little collaboration baby together. It's like a little brain baby. There you go. Yeah.
So when he was done giving me a hand job, I agreed to it. So, all right.
After you communicated with one another,
worked it in.
Yeah, there you go.
I communicated all over his wrist. His hands are hairy. All right, so I'm going to go with first of all the obvious. What do you guys think? Obvious or a little obscure?
Whatever you want.
All right, I'll let you guys do. I'm going to start with. Obviously, Steve Carell was already said, so I'm not going to go with it. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg was one of the funniest, and I'm sure if she went on stage now, she would be one of the funniest stand-ups. But she, in The Color Purple?
Yep.
And other dramatic roles since then, but that was the one she was nominated, won an Academy Award, something like that.
She was at least nominated, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, can really act the hell out of, anything, really.
Out of acting.
Out of acting.
That Whoopi Goldberg, she sure can act the hell out of acting.
Acting and actors.
Dean Harvey, Convincing Idiots.
I should be on the back of the VHS box. Well, I don't know if VHS boxes are still a thing, but
Dean Harvey of Convincing Idiots says that Whoopi Goldberg sure can act the hell out of some acting.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, she acted like she liked being married to Ted Danson for a while.
Sure.
I recall.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Great acting. Very dramatic
Mhm.
role.
Yep. Okay. Very,
I'll
very
start-
good
I'll-
start.
fellas.
Go ahead,
I'll
Nick.
start with a very obvious one too. So there might you think obvious, you think of somebody like Whoopi Goldberg, but for me, when I think obvious, there's no more obvious answer than if you're looking for a good way to get around town.
Mhm.
RPM Bike Shop. An electric bike is in your future. It doesn't matter if you're in a silly mood or a dramatic mood. It doesn't matter. One thing you can rely on to be consistent all the way through is an electric bike from our good friends at RPM Bike Shop. They are located conveniently not so far from here in Carrollton, Ohio. You can drop them a line, give them a call, 330-808-7792. You can also go to their Facebook page. Just simply search RPM Bike Shop. You can also go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com, and there you can see their wonderful products that they have available for you. So, whether you're the class clown or the serious Cyrus of the classroom, I didn't think that through. You can
Close.
ride to school in style all the same on your very own electric bike from RPM Bike Shop. So that is an obvious choice.
There you
But
go.
but
Well,
That's
you
good.
used your fucking deal, Brian. What's
Go
I
ahead,
have
Nick.
another one.
Go ahead. You can, go ahead.
This is another obvious one as well. And I actually mentioned him in one of our past episodes, but someone who pivoted magnificently from stand-up comedy into acting roles. He probably had more dramatic roles than comedies, and I would say that was Robin Williams, or at least equal. You know what I mean? You can look at any number of movies. Certainly, Good Will Hunting is probably the most gleaming example of a great dramatic role.
he was
for Robin
nominated
Williams.
for
He won the
Oscar
Academy
for that.
Award.
He
for
won the
that.
Academy Award for that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep. So there was also my personal favorite movie of his was 24 Hour Photo. It was just
Mm.
he was just so creepy and weird. It was so out of the box for anything he'd ever done before. Dead Poets Society was another good one.
Dead Poets Society.
He did have a lot
that
of,
was like for like a kid my age. Dead Poets Society was an eye opener because you only knew him, from his stand up, which is just wild. Mork and Mindy.
Mhm.
And he'd done a couple, like the one used cars, stuff like that.
That's right.
But Dead Poet Society just blew your
Cadillac
mind.
Man, Cadillac Man.
Yeah,
That's what it
Cadillac
was.
Man. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie just changed the whole deal for him. It really solidified him, and then he just kept going. The Fisher King, another one was amazing. To me, if I know we're not doing a Mount Rushmore, but he's the fucking center.
Yeah,
one in the Mount Rushmore to me
when
it comes to comedians that did, the dramatic roles.
Yeah, definitely. Up there.
He really shone in the dramatic roles for sure.
He did one. It was a Law and Order SVU. It was like they weren't back to back, but like he was on like 3 times same character. And it was the creepiest, like all of these guys, that have guest starred on that show or have to be creepy in some way. He just blew it out of the water. Like if you get a chance, search that out. It's Robin Williams on the SVU. It's incredible.
Okay. And the World According to Garp, also him and John Lithgow. So it's an early 80s movie. Also very good one. Check that out.
Let's stop and give John Lithgow his flowers real quick. What a fucking actor.
Yeah. So good. I caught that. This is go off on a tangent super quick on John Lithgow. So I watched recently just looking for creepy movies. I came across, I forgot about the Twilight Zone movie that they did in the 80s, right? So they basically just reenacted a few classic Twilight Zone episodes in the movie. I had forgotten that John Lithgow did the man on the wing. Yep. He was so damn good in that section of that movie as just reinforced the fact what a great actor he was.
Well,
anyway.
Let's pause for a second, and since we brought John Lithgow up in it,
He
that's
qualifies.
the reversal. Like
yeah,
he
he's
was
very
like
qualified. Yeah, you're right.
he's the reversal because
Yeah.
like he was such a serious actor, and then you throw him in Third Rock from the Sun, and he's
Right.
just brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. Another obvious one for me, guys. Tom Hanks. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, he started out in very goofy roles. He was a stand-up comic as well. I mean, he did Bosom Buddies on TV. You know, it
So
was one of his first big things. Bachelor Party, which is still one of my favorite funny movies. Probably doesn't hold
Yep.
up too well, but yeah, just great. And then he just goes into some of these dramatic roles, and it's just one of those things where it's something like Robin Williams. Like, this guy is funny. How's he going to do in this? And instantly, it's like, this guy's good. The guy's just a solid, good actor.
Yep.
Did so many good things. Obviously, Forrest Gump, terrific. Saving Private Ryan, Green Mile, Philadelphia Story, Castaway. It's just so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he could go right back to comedy. All these guys. That's the thing about these guys too. They're comedians, and they could easily go right back to comedy. It's so easy
Yep.
for them. It's seamless.
Very, very pleased to see. I don't know if you watched Saturday Night Live
I
last
did.
week, but David Pumpkins
So
made an
happy.
appearance
Oh,
again.
I heard. I
Tom
didn't see it, but I
Hanks.
heard that he came back for it.
Yeah,
Made me
Drunk
so
Uncle
happy.
as well. Dean's favorite was there. It was
Yes.
But they brought Bobby Moynihan back, to do some
Yes.
things too. But he's also one of the skeletons that's there with David Pumpkins, so he was there. So yeah, but that was awesome.
The second they were in the elevator, I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
David S. Pumpkins
Yeah.
is coming back. Oh
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
So we watch it the next day, but
Mhm.
so David Pumpkins is very popular in my house. The boys love that sketch, like the David Pumpkins thing. So I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a snippet of David Pumpkins, but what gave it away was Bobby Moynihan has a beard in this one. I was like, oh shit, that's new. So I told Lane when we were watching, I said, you might want to pay attention. I'm not going to say anything, but just pay. Same deal. He goes, once he saw that they were on and he saw that Keenan was the, operator
Yeah.
there. And he was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's David Pumpkins. I'm like, yeah.
So good. Anyway, yeah. So Tom Hanks, great in dramatic roles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dean,
All right,
what
so-
else you got?
I'm actually going to go with Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Not
Okay.
a lot of people know, but Michael
On my
Keaton
list.
started as a stand-up as well.
Yes.
He actually had the same situation as they weren't sure about hiring him for Batman because he had done
Right.
so many comedic roles and doing a stand-up. They weren't sure people would buy him as the Dark Knight.
Mhm.
But luckily, Tim Burton was able to convince them otherwise, and they kept him in. The rest is history.
Great choice.
That is interesting. I had no idea Michael Keaton did stand up or anything.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, he did stuff like very early on, Nick, like, Mr. Mom was a big movie. Like, he was a stay-at-home
Yeah.
dad. Night Shift. And Night Shift is kind of a forgotten movie with the great Henry Winkler in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very good movie. They were running, two guys were running a morgue, and they were they started to run a pimp service out of the morgue at night on the prompting of Michael Keaton. That was one of his first movies. It might have been his very first movie at the time.
What
So
was
just
the
very,
one
very funny.
where he where the used cars, or not used cars, but they were the Japanese bought the car.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Company.
I can't remember. Yeah, that was good. He was in some advertising. It was like there was a movie too with Christopher Lloyd and Michael Keaton where an advertising executive hired mental patients to come up with ads, and the ads were
Oh my god,
they
I
were just
forgot about that
brilliant.
movie.
Just brilliant.
Holy
Just-
shit, hell yeah.
Yeah, very very funny. So, but yeah, great.
No,
You're right. Great dramatic
Beetlejuice.
actor.
I mean, well, I guess
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is a comedy.
Yeah. Anyway,
I want to find out what the name of this movie is. You go ahead, guys.
but yeah, Michael Keaton did win an Oscar in a dramatic role for Birdman a few years ago.
Yes, Birdman was
Yeah.
great.
And obviously great as the Vulture in the Spider-Man movies. Great villain.
Yep.
So yeah, great stuff. And he will of course make his return as the Batman in. Of course, he already made it in Batgirl, but he's going to make it in The Flash coming up next year. Right? Is it next year or is it later this year? The Flash? The next year? I think it's next year.
It should be this year, right?
Coming out soon. I'd be
This year's
happy to
almost
see
over.
him, the Batman. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get good point.
Okay.
On 2024 or 3.
All right. So
What year is it now? 22.
2022. I forget the year sometimes. I do find myself.
Yeah.
Dream Team. The Dream Team. That was the name of that movie.
Great movie.
That was a great movie.
I just recall one of the slogans was Porsche. A car like guys like strange women to give them hand jobs or something like that. It was like something like that. That's a great slogan. Okay, who's is it? Nick, is it your turn?
I believe it is my turn. I'm going to go with a great Canadian comedic actor here who has also really thrived in a lot of dramatic roles. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's a very funny guy. Jim Carrey has been in a lot of great comedies, but Jim Carrey has also definitely been in some great dramatic roles. What was the number 23? Was that one? It was kind of that was a freaky movie.
Weird.
Good though.
You know, Man on the Moon was the one that he portrayed Andy Kaufman in, but definitely a good biopic about him. So I'm just Jim Carrey's another one that. Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one too.
Correct. Yep. So, I love Jim Carrey. He's just this like treasure. I absolutely love Jim Carrey. I just adore him, and I just.
If you want to watch a fun part of documentary, watch the. It's
Jim
the one with
Andy.
Yeah, where he had a camera crew following him behind the scenes because like he really went out of his way to be like Andy Kaufman and make all of this, you know, like he was really sunk into the role.
Yeah.
But he was having an actual crew follow him also to document that story. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And very meta documentary.
Sure. Yeah. Just in and out of your own mind, kind of, you know what I mean? Like just.
It'd be rough.
Yeah.
Kind of like Brian, not knowing what reality is between podcasts and real life, and
right, everything's just running together.
Being a glory hole salesman, it's all very tough.
Forget sometimes. Yep. That's right. Great choice, Dean. What's your next one?
My next one actually could be. I was doing the research on this, and there's some that are obvious, but I want to shout out Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys watch Trial of the Chicago 7?
I did not.
Holy shit, you need to watch it. The Trial of the Chicago 7 was these group of Vietnam protesters, like 1968. They got put on trial by the U.S. government, and it's that story. It's a very famous. Like, do you remember the scene in Forrest Gump where he's on the Washington thing doing the speech, and like they pull the plug so you can't hear what he actually has to say?
Okay, yeah,
right. That scene, and the guy that's Vietnam. I think Sacha Baron Cohen plays that guy.
Okay.
He was a very famous protester and stuff, but it's a serious role. The cast is amazing. What's his name? The guy that wrote and directed in all those of the West Wing and all those kind of fast paced talking movies. He did that.
Okay.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a great movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and vent there. I'm gonna. All right. It is it's Eddie Redmayne, Jeremy Strong, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's right, Michael Keaton is in it also. So yeah, definitely search out that movie, guys. Sacha Baron Cohen is amazing in it. The whole cast is amazing. It's a great movie.
I'm a big fan of his. He is kind of one of those guys that can kind of do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even different types of comedy. Like he's just, I don't know. He's all over the place. I love him.
Then I may have seen that there's a rumor that he may play Mephisto also in the Marvel
That is
universe.
The rumor.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, another one here. How about Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx got his start on
He's on my list.
With Jim Carrey.
With Jim Carrey, yep.
And he certainly went on and did a lot of, certainly action movies, but he's done some good dramatic roles as well, like as Ray Charles.
Ray was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, some other stuff here. So Jamie Foxx is a solid actor.
Oh, absolutely. That law-abiding citizen he was in with Gerard Butler. Oh my God, that was such a good movie where he's the lawyer. That was just a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
and
ahead.
will be portraying Al Simmons, Spawn, in the upcoming movie. So very excited.
there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Yep.
He was in the one movie, the dramatic role. What was it like? I don't know. A dude like had like I think electricity running through him or something.
Yes, Electro, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That was like a
Spider-Man.
real serious movie, right?
He was actually one of the better villains in the last Spider-Man movie. I liked his Electro in the last Spider-Man movie. So his portrayal. Yeah. Okay. I know it's getting a little late here. How about one more? And then I have one question for you before we wrap up here. So
one more. You want one? Just only one more?
One more for each of us, or
I mean, we can keep going, but it's getting late for you guys. Everybody working tomorrow morning. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, you were. Wow, yeah, you were correct. I didn't realize that. Okay, one more each. Okay, and then some honorable mentions. How about rapid fire? Let's just go around. We don't have to sit here and
That's great.
how about rapid fire until we're done? I've got like 3 or 4 more names that I want to throw out. So
perfect.
We don't have to go into it. There's one. I'll start out if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just because I could be off. I don't even know if this person qualifies. The first time I remember seeing them as the zany, wacky dad in Malcolm in the Middle, Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
I don't know. He probably did shit before that, but that's the first time I knew Bryan Cranston.
Yep.
So I thought he was a funny, actor, but my God, Bryan Cranston. I mean, I don't even need to say anymore. You already know. So Bryan Cranston.
I'm going the obvious Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Started out with Saturday Night Live and stand up. Probably one of the most world-renowned stand-ups ever. And all the dramatic stuff he's done. So, Eddie Murphy on my list.
Watch it. By the way, look up the Dolomite movie, Eddie Murphy, on Netflix.
I've heard that's really good.
Great movie. And I thought for sure he was going to be up for some type of award for that. Just go check that out. If it's a lot of fun, go check. Not a kids movie, but a lot of fun. How about John Goodman? Definitely
there you go.
roles. He's done funny dramatic roles. Yeah.
Yep. Nick.
As me again. Okay, here we go. Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill, a lot of comedies. Moneyball.
Sure.
Moneyball, great dramatic role in Moneyball. So Jonah Hill's good one.
I'm going to go old school and go Albert Brooks. Great stand-up, great writer, also comedic actor. But like when he was in Drive, being the bad guy, and he's done other serious roles too. But he can really put it up to dramatic roles there.
Very good. How about the great Jackie Gleason? Going a little bit more old school.
Yep.
Honeymooners, Smokey and the Bandit. He also had some very good dramatic roles, including his last movie. The name escapes me, but he played the father of Tom Hanks. Kind of a closure of their life, kind of making amends as he was dying. So very touching performance by the great Jackie Gleason.
Nice. All right. I'm going to go with this guy's catalog is mostly comedy, but has delivered some good dramatic performances. Adam Sandler. Even in some of his comedies, there have been heartfelt moments that Adam Sandler really delivers on. So I think Adam Sandler transitions pretty well in that.
The end of the movie Click made me cry.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good example of like a dramatic role in a comedy movie. Definitely. Right. So Adam Sandler's done pretty well in that lane.
Very good. Any more?
That's all mine.
Okay.
I can wrap it there. I'm good.
Okay. That sounds good. So all these actors, obviously, they've done great role. What is it about? So why do you think? Why is a person?
Well, I think you got to know when to laugh and when not to laugh, Brian. That's basically what it comes down to.
Does he know when to laugh?
See, now I'm laughing. Now I stop.
Just why are so a lot of these comedians could do dramatic roles very seamlessly. So why do you think that is? Is it because? Well, I won't even give my own theory. So why do they? There's many more we could name. There's tons out there that do well.
Sure.
It seems like it's. I don't know, but to me, it seems like it's easier. Yes, that's right. It seems like it's easier for a funny person known to be funny to play a dramatic role than the other way around, unless they're doing it like a deadpan type.
Yeah.
Like Leslie Nielsen was not necessarily a funny. There's tons of people like that too. They're not known for being funny necessarily, but they could play a comedy role well it's usually, like I say, funny to dramatic seems to have a bit easier transition, like you say. So why do you think that is?
Because to truly master comedy, you have to know pain. No, I mean
Well, I think you're
not
right.
necessarily in so many words, but I
Okay.
mean, I think some of the best, comedians or funniest people, it sprouts from somewhere, right? So like you can there's something down in there, yes, that you can tap into that is very real, very heartfelt that you can draw on or pain or torturous or whatever. Not in every case. But I definitely think, and also, I mean, even still, acting is acting, right? So even to act in a comedic role, to be able to, serve that up properly, at that point, I think it just becomes a skill of knowing how to, act properly in a dramatic role. But it's, it's used to be a good actor in a comedy requires the basic same skill set as to, act well in a drama. It's just the way that you deliver it. Can you deliver it properly? So, I mean, these people are talented, is what it comes down to. They're just talented actors. They're talented at delivering performances, and the people that we just named, along with many others, are very capable of both sides of the spectrum.
It's good. Dean, what do you think?
All right. Nick is, I believe, 100% right.
Whoa. Can we get
yep.
that on loop?
Yep, that 100% right. And beautiful. But the one thing that I think that he was missing was timing.
Okay.
They say that, even dramatic actors say that the hardest thing to do is comedy. It's because of the timing. You hear it all the time, comedic timing. And especially stand-ups. Stand-up comedians have to have that precise timing of words and how to speak and, when to have that, the right line. And I think, not just the, pulling that part out of them to get the crying acting type, reaction, but the way to say lines, because they've spent so much time working on timing of the lines, of their lines or whatnot, that when they do dramatic roles, it's cake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that timing down. And also, like he said, yeah, funny people are sad. Not all of them, but they say a lot of them. You know what I mean? Shit, when I was a kid, you did it because I was the smallest kid, and rather than get picked on, if you could pick on yourself first,
they
don't pick on you. Correct. Right. And there you go. That's exactly it, Nick. Defense mechanism. Comedy is the defense mechanism to sadness and not despair. That might be a little excessive, but just the darker parts. So, and they can tap into that because that's what they've been hiding. That's why they've been doing what they're doing. So yeah, timing and the dark side of the sad clown, so to speak.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that joke. What makes a great comedian? Timing. He's supposed to say what? Say that's never mind. Supposed to talk over the what.
Actually, that makes it better because you fucked up.
You still, it still messed it up. That's the whole point of it.
You fucked your own timing.
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, I think a lot of these guys. I mean, and you can look at someone, even unfortunately now, like the great Robin Williams, and that the poor man suffered from depression for so long, and it seemed like he probably used comedy, like you say, as a way to, I don't know, distract himself for a while. Yeah, distract himself for a while from the depression and all that. He was very good at it. It was a way to get accepted, I'm sure. And
Nick would use it if he could.
That's right. So now I just have to sit here and sulk in my sadness because I have no defense mechanism. Nothing to keep the demons at bay. Only this podcast with you two bastards. That's it.
That's right. I find myself
to go.
I do that. I find myself trying to do that. I know it's certainly not successful all the time, but if I'm in a awkward, even at work, sometimes I'll try to use humor as a way to get a laugh out of somebody to calm myself down from when I'm extra nervous or something like that. So,
Yeah. Clark, we got to let you go, but shitter's full, Clark. Have a good weekend.
Pull
Or
my
don't.
finger.
I'll never see you again. Bye.
Yep. No,
It's not true. Brian fired me years ago, and here's
That's
where
right.
I'm at.
Yeah. Yep. Multiple times, literally.
That's right.
Yeah.
True story.
And many more to come, so stay tuned for that.
That's right. That's right. One of these
God willing, and
episodes,
the creek don't rise.
we're doing one of these live episodes. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, some of these guys certainly, they're dealing with a lot of, pain. They definitely, a lot to work through and use comedy to get out of it. Something else though that may bring you a little bit of pain, but is worth the effort, worth the result. No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I don't need to listen anymore.
Well, just like getting a tattoo. So it's a way a way to cover up a little bit of I don't know. I'm losing. My segue is losing traction.
He can't stop thinking about anal, guys. That's what it is.
That's right. Threw me off.
I got it in his head.
That's right. So
getting your head and getting that ass.
That's right.
Do you have pain that you need to mask? Well, tattoo is a perfect way to do it.
That's right.
A perfect cover up, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Our new sponsor, Orgasm Incorporated.
Yeah.
No, Golden Heart Tattoo. If you're in the Northeast
Ohio
do with
that
area.
ring on your finger. How many times have you lost that bad boy?
It's the marker. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Thank you.
The marker.
Thank you. Stop here. No, but Golden Heart Tattoos.
It's a dip line. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Norton, Ohio. They do great work. You've done work on all of us. GoldenHeartTattoos.com or give them a call at 234-706-2982 to get your appointment scheduled. 2022 is running out. Don't let the year end without getting yourself some ink. Cover up some internal pain with some external pain.
That's right.
And with a good result afterwards.
And I don't want to say it's a scientific proven deal, but I'm pretty sure when you're getting the tattoo, if you stare into Greg's or Scott's eyes, it doesn't hurt at all. You get lost.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I'm just going to mention our other sponsor because I'm not going to think of another creative segment. That's okay. So
3 knuckle finger rings. The 3 knuckle finger rings.
The what?
The 3 knuckle finger rings. No? Is that they don't sponsor us?
I like that. I like that. It's a subsidiary of Orgasm Incorporated. I think that's what it is. I think also maybe not. I could be I don't know if it's a subsidiary or not, but they may practice perhaps some orgasm meditation. Maybe is our final sponsor. Yeah, Bellmark Amazon Amazon Store, not Amazon Studio. Bellmark Amazon Store, quality handcrafted woodwork products. They specialize in floating liquor cabinets, nightstands, and also countertop compost bins. Look them up on the Amazon site. Everything delivered conveniently, safely, and affordably right through the Amazon delivery service. Go check them out. Again, Christmas is coming up. We're already into November. Any one of their gifts makes a fine holiday. I said any one of their gifts. Any one of their products, I'm trying to say, makes a great holiday gift for someone that you love. So check them out. All right. Guys, great episode. I think we've solved some more problems.
Slightly better than average. I enjoyed this.
Slightly better than average. I think I would like all of us, Nick, over the next week, make sure we're all practicing some orgasm meditation. I would like to hear your
done and done. I'm going to do that as soon as I get off this podcast here. And I'm going to get off. Podcast. That's right, exactly.
all of our significant others wish that we would also practice it on them once in a great while. Just once in a
let's not
while.
get greedy. All right.
Come on.
Easy.
We got so much time.
Once
here.
in a
Come on.
while. Yeah, once in a while.
How about I worry about me, you worry about you?
Yeah. Well, the year's almost over, so if you haven't yet accomplished that, so you got this, time's running out. So
What? You got
poor-
fucking
poor-
hands? Come
the
on.
poor women in our lives. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So, Dean, any suggestions on an outro for young Nick?
Oh boy.
Maybe one of the comedians who's a good dramatic actor or something like that, perhaps. I don't know. What do you think?
know what?
Am I good at any of their voices? I don't think so.
Actually,
I
you know what?
I know who you're good at. Go ahead, please. I have a suggestion. If you don't,
No,
have
by
to,
all
go
means.
ahead.
By all means.
Nick did a very excellent but brief imitation of Adam Sandler. And we talked about Adam Sandler
He did.
when we said it was Adam Sandler going to play, I think it was in Gone with the Wind or something like that. We talked about that.
That's right. Okay.
One of the funniest clips of the season, in my opinion. There, it cracked me up. So, how about an outro as Adam Sandler? Did you do this already? I don't remember if you did Adam Sandler.
I
as an
might
outro.
have. I can't
Yeah, he
remember
did.
exactly.
He did.
Okay, well, you can pick somebody else if you want
But
to.
just in case I didn't, here it comes anyway. So get ready. So for all of you out there listening, we're gonna lay out real nice for you. All you gotta do is go on over to Convention Idiots Linktree. You go in there, you put on LINKTR. And there, after you put all of these in there, whoopity-doo, all of the links for all of the websites come out there for you. And also, if that's too much for you, all you gotta do is head over to conventionidiots.wordpress.com. And there, you're gonna find all the links. You can like, you can subscribe, you can rate, you can review, and do all of those things. Listen with your ears. Can you hear me? Are we not good enough for your ears? So, for this episode of Convincing Idiots, I am a millennial. My name is Nick.
Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that there's a time to laugh and a time to be very serious?
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're gonna wanna.